we will be discussing about Brahman. To know Brahman, even to discuss about Brahman, to have an idea about Brahman, we need strong body, mind, intellect. So let us pray this unique prayer, Vedic prayer, before we begin. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Prana Chakshu Sotra Atho Balam Indriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranam Me astu Anirakaranam me astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishatsu Dharmaste Mai santu Te mai santu. May all my limbs grow strong. So also my breath, my speech, my eyes, my ears, and all my organs. All these Brahman, of which the Upanishad speaks, we have started the Isha Upanishad, and we have completed the first and second chapter of the Kena Upanishad. So this Upanishad speaks only about Brahman. May I never deny Brahman. May Brahman never deny me. May there be no denial on my part. I am engaged in the study of the self. The Upanishad speaks of qualities that one must possess to succeed in such a study. May I acquire those qualities. Om, peace, peace, peace. So this is the prayer of strength. Why the strength? Because without the power of mind, we cannot go beyond all these limitations. Because right from our birth, even before that, in our previous births, again and again, we were living in this condition, in this situation. So naturally, all these ideas, the impressions are there in our mind. It is very difficult to go beyond this. So it says like this way, and we need strength that we can understand the Upanishad. Swami Vivekananda is telling in one of his lectures, he said, the more I grow, the more it seems to me that Upanishad, Veda speaks about strength, strength and strength. What is this strength actually? Is physical, of course, mental, spiritual, moral. These are the strengths are necessary. This is very significant prayer. Otherwise, we won't be able to attain this knowledge. This knowledge is not attained by the weak. Mundaka Upanishad, it says that Nayamatma balahinena labhya na ayam atma balahinena. Those who are very weak, they cannot achieve this. Nayamatma baluhinena labhya. na medhaya, na srutena, etc. The balohinena, this strength is necessary. Now we were studying this Kena Upanishad. It began with that first mantra, and from there only the name has come, that is Kena, Kena Upanishad. And here it says, Keneshitam patatim prishitam manaha. In the very first sloka, that's Kena, it begins with. By whose will is the mind drawn towards the objects? We discussed about this, and every day we are experiencing this. We need not to study this in the book. In our life also, every day experiencing only that the objects are constantly drawing us. Our attention goes to the object, and there is no other way we can stop it. Somebody is forcing us to go. And what are those objects? We all know, again and again we say, because this is a Western world, so obviously most of the people are not very much aware about this sense objects. What are those objects? Only 5. Rupa, Rasa, Sabda, Sparsha and Gandha. But these 5 in millions varieties. Rupa means in the form, Rasa the taste, Shabda the sound, the smell, all this taste. So this thing again and again it goes in millions and millions varieties, but it comes into 5, only 5. How we are enjoying? Only through 5. And that is called 5 organs. Chakshu means the eye. Eye goes and sees and then brings back the report to the mind, and sometimes I am attracted, sometimes aversion, oh my God, so bad. Sometimes the TV newses or the newspaper, the pictures that they show, we like to see that. But sometimes we are withdrawing that. No, we don't like to see. So it constantly is happening like this, object. So our eyes are going, seeing the forms, either appreciating, trying to accept it, or rejecting. See, this way the whole personality is growing. So this is the Keneshitam patati prashitam manaha. He is asking, the student is asking the teacher, sir, can you please tell me who actually is sending my mind, my eyes, my ear, my taste, everything, even if I myself don't want, somebody is forcing as if. This is our experience. Majority of the people who try to meditate, the one complaint, one question, how to control the mind. The same question. And this question was asked by the Arjuna to Krishna. This question was asked by almost all the students to their teachers. How to control the mind? Whose mind? My mind. Why you cannot control? I don't know. But Upanishad is giving the teaching. You know it. Because you are sending out all your sources to go out and collect information and bring it to you, and now you think that you can control your mind. Is it possible? One doctor, one very heavy person, he wanted to reduce his weight. He went to the doctor and said, doctor, can you please tell me how to reduce the weight? Yeah, I can. How much? Chapatis in our country, particularly in the northern people, they eat big the braids. How many you eat? 50. 50, and you are thinking that you will reduce your weight? Reduce the chapati. Okay. How many you suggest? At least 50% you must reduce, 25. Okay. But still the same weight. Then he went again, doctor, your suggestion, prescription is not working. How many you are taking? 25. Reduce it again, make it 15. Again, make it 10. Again, Then he went, please don't reduce it much, because I won't be able to make the chapati. Because the dough that he is using, the quantity is the same. Only he is reducing the number of the chapatis. So previously from 1 he used to make the 50, now he is reducing to 15. He is complaining, I cannot reduce it more. It will be very thick, it won't burn properly, it won't bake properly. So that way, how the doctor can help us? When you go to a monk, when you go to a realized soul, a holy person, sir, I want to meditate. Well, then you close your eyes. That very moment I am closing my eyes and sitting. Put your leg like this, etc. That is only nothing. Whether you put your leg left below, right on, that is nothing. But the main is mind. How the mind is feeding? You are feeding the mind through 5. I am asking to close the eyes, but that is not the only eyes. The smell, the taste, and all the 5 organs we have to close. So when this disciple, the student asking, Srotasya Sotra Manaso Manoyat. You know the first chapter, second sloka, the teacher is giving the answer. You know, beyond these, there is a power that is working. Do you think that you can see with your eyes? No. There is a power behind the eyes. There is a power behind the taste. There is a power behind everything. Without that, nothing can work. That is also our daily experience, isn't it? This suppose we are very perfect. There is no disease in my body, but I am absent-minded. Someone came and he went out. I saw the figure, but I couldn't register. I know the person, but still that very moment I was not aware. Why? I saw, I heard him talking. Even then I could not recognize. When he said, I went over, is it you went? But I didn't notice. Why? So this is our daily experience. That means, though our organs are very much present, if the mind is not attached to these organs, these are not working. I don't smell, I can see, I can touch, I can do nothing with all the organs. And then finally, when we die, what happens? Something, it leaves. They say life. And we say Atma. It leaves this body. Body is, everything is there. The whole machinery is there. One person, he purchased a car, but he used to bargain a lot. You know, in India, everything you have to bargain. Sometimes neighbors, they take the person who can bargain well, so he will be hired by the neighbors. I am going to purchase something, will you please come with me, the person, and he will be bargaining. If it starts with 500, then he will start with the 50. Then slowly, maybe 150, they will settle. So this person went, a neighbor invited him, I am going to purchase a car, will you please come with me? He said, okay, I can go, but you have to take me, give me a ride and all that. He went to the shop, and then afterwards, it was a very nice, he was going on, no, we cannot purchase so much cost, this much I can give, this much I may, like this it was going on. Ultimately, the shopkeeper said, okay, there is a car over there on the road, totally new, take it. So how much? Only whatever you like you can. See the wonderful bargain that I have done. I will give you for the car, which is supposed to be 50,000, 5,000, okay? The car dealer told, okay, go and take it. And he went, sat, and nothing was working. Everything is there. Nothing is, what is the matter? Then he came to the shopkeeper and said, how much you paid? 5,000. But the cost of the car is 50,000, right? So I have taken out the engine. No engine in the car, so you take the whole, only the body. So, without the engine, the beautiful car can do nothing. Similarly, there is something within us that is called Brahman. That without that Brahman, without the power which is the engine of this beautiful body, strong body, nothing can work. So it says, Sotrasya sotra, manaso manoyat, Bachoha bacham. So you pranasya pranaha. In a beautiful way, the teacher is trying to make that student understand, see, this is beyond these. It goes on and on and on. Then ultimately, it says, you can understand it, but you have to practice only one thing. And it says in the second sloka, first chapter, second sloka, the last line, Pritya asman lokan amrita bhavanti, by giving up. In Hindi, they always say, sab chode, sab paave. If you give up everything, you get everything. How it is? That means, if you give up the world, you get the Brahman, you get the God. And God is everything. He is the source of everything. So, I think I told you, some of the donors, big donors of the Ramakrishna Mission, they come and by seeing how they are walking, you can feel he is a big donor. He always shows that he is somebody. Then a group of brahmacharis, they were in a queue to offer pranam to President Swamiji. He came, hey, move, and then he went, he sat on a chair, he was looking at the Swamis and brahmacharis who were standing in a queue to go to the senior Swami, President Swamiji. Then he was telling, hey, oh renouncers, oh sannyasins, how are you, etc. Nobody replied. Then one Swami told, sir, what we have renounced? Nothing. A little bit of family and a little only the job that we used to do, or these or that. You are a great renouncer. Then he was, is it? I am a renouncer? How you say like that? So we have renounced the world for God, and you have renounced the God for the world. So you are the great renouncer, you have renounced the God itself. Because the moment there is an ego, you cannot renounce. So obviously, ego is the main cause of all. So it says, Pritya asman lokan, giving up, self-identification with the senses. Self-identification with the senses. Now, your eyes goes and sees something and try to give that information to your mind, and you say, I am not connected with this. You like to go and see? See. As if my eyes, my ear, my tongue, my breathing, nothing, I am not attached with it. The moment we can do this, then only we can realize God. Pritya asman lokan. Those who have taken the initiation, you know that your gurus are all the time asking you to see God within your heart. And that too, the God is sitting facing that direction which you are facing. How it is possible? That means you have to come out of your body, of your that senses, and then you have to see God within your body, and that body is nothing but a temple. Within that, your God is sitting. If you can do that, then only proper meditation. Then that means you have to give up all the connections with the senses. Again, the teacher is explaining that the Brahman, this knowledge of Brahman is totally different from other knowledge. Yesterday, one young boy came, he is researching on the origin of life, and the science. So he was talking about, I told, now you are researching, we have completed our research and our report has already been published. The Brahman is the origin of everything. So I told. So like that, what is that Brahman? That knowledge is totally different. Why the science cannot find it? Because they are finding it in the objects. Friends, we will go deeper and deeper. After this Upanishad, we will go to Katha Upanishad. It speaks of only Brahman. All the Upanishads speaks on the Brahman. So we have to make our mind, keep our mind steady, ready to understand, because it is so subtle. There is no object, but at the same time they will ask you to understand that. How it is possible? When there is an object, we can understand. Maybe it is a very, very small, we can understand. But when there is nothing as if, how can you understand? It will come that you must understand that this knowledge is totally different from other knowledges. And that's why another word they use, it says aparaksha anubhuti. Aparaksha, without the help of anything, without the help of anything or anybody. That's called aparaksha anubhuti, direct perception. Many of you, those who have read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna or the biography of Swami Vivekananda, you know that incident when that young Norin, 16, 17 years old, very bright, very intelligent, he is going on searching and asking the question to all the religious leaders in those days. Sir, have you seen God? Now, no one could answer him directly. He went to the Sri Ramakrishna. Sir, have you seen God? Immediately he replied, yes, I have seen. More clearly, this is the word. More clearly than I see you now. That boy was standing just before him. It was the daytime. How the Sri Ramakrishna told more clearly than I see you now. Why? Because when I am looking at you, there are so many things in between. Maybe my glasses are not properly working. Maybe there is a mist. Maybe so many things may happen. I am seeing, but that may not be perfect, may not be correct. When I look at the glass, at the mirror, if it is a concave or convex, I am seeing the right thing, me, but in a different form because of the glass. So obviously, even when I see myself, everyone who stands before the mirror, what the mirror says? To everyone the mirror says, you are the best, you are the most beautiful. To everyone the mirror says the same thing. Actually what I am thinking, oh, I look good, smart. I am thinking, though that is reflecting, whoever sees that way, they see in that way only. But when we see God, realize God, what happens? There is nothing in between. It is the revelation, and there is no mistake in that. There is no mistake. That's why all the words Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, perfect, without hesitation. Why? He saw it. All other religious leaders, when they are speaking, Sri Ramakrishna went and heard and said, look at that man, how he is talking about. It is like one person said that in my maternal uncle's house, there are so many horses were there in the stable. And it is actually, and the cows are there, but he told that it is only horses. It should not be. So the mistakes. Another person told that God is dry, my friends, devotees, God is dry. We have to, through our love, make it. What is it? The source of joy, can he be dry? Sri Ramakrishna commented. How could he? Direct knowledge, aparaksha anubhuti. Whatever the science is proving with the help of some instruments, chemicals, particles, there may be some mistake. And we find that after some days it is all the time changing. Previously they used to say it is very good to drink the cow's milk. Then suddenly it was everywhere, don't drink the cow's milk, it is bad for human health. Now what to do? It always changes, but here the aparaksham, it is not. Then it says in the second chapter, first sloka, if you claim that you have seen Brahman, you have not seen anything. Maybe a very, very little. That is very peculiar. Yadi manyase subedeti drabhamevapi. Yadi manyase, if you think that I have known Brahman, drabhamevapi, very little. Why? You cannot say that I have known Brahman. The moment you say that I have known Brahman, there is some mistake is there. Then the student told the teacher that does it mean the Brahman is not there? If I cannot see that Brahman, does it mean that Brahman is not there present? No, it is there. Suppose a hare is not having the horn. Is it like that? When I say that there is no horn on the head of a hare, is it like that the Brahman is not present, is not existing? No, it is there. That is why they say the existence of Brahman is always there. And then the teacher, it says almost a riddle. Yasya amatam tasya matam. Who says that I don't know, he knows. Matam yasya na vedasa. Who says that I have known? No, you cannot. It's just like a riddle. It says, unknown to those who know well, and known to those who do not know. Then argument, if you read the explanation, it says, no, it is not like this. Brahman is there. It can be known. That's why Sri Ramakrishna again and again said, I want to tell you, but somebody is holding, pressing my throat, I cannot speak about Brahman. You can never express about Brahman, and that is the best thing in the religion, and again difficulty in the religion. The moment you talk about the Brahman, the people will ask, please tell what is it? You cannot. Because if you have to explain, you have to take the help of many things. So they are taking some of the, afterwards we will come to that. It says just like the lightning. The lightning, it is passing through the hole, and it says so flash and it's lighted. Like that Brahman, the knowledge comes. It says just like the thread that is running through the whole, the garland. All the flowers, all the jewelries that is holding, how? Something is there. Similarly, in our life also, when we see all people are surviving because something is there, and that is why it is surviving. And in the second chapter, fourth sloka, it says, Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi bindate atmana bindate birjam vidyaya bindate amritam. So this is, that's the problem is, we think about the knowledge. When we talk about the Vedanta, we talk about the Atman, about Brahman, a subtle knowledge is necessary. Why? When you describe the Bhagavata, it is so interesting, because so many incidents are there, and that is can be explained in but this is a completely a subtle knowledge which goes on argument after argument. Pratibodha viditam, the Brahman is really known when it is known with each state of consciousness, and it gives sutre maniganaiva. In the Gita it says, a thread runs through the jewels in a necklace. You cannot see that thread, but you can see all the jewels. So you cannot see anything, the Brahman over here, but everything that you see, even a small plant surviving because of the Brahman. That is why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, without the the behest of God, even a dry leaf cannot fall. Everything that is happening, then what we should do? We should try to understand that. How? It says that you must understand this here itself. Because the lamp that is burning in the room, it shows all the articles inside the room. Similarly, when I see all these things, where from I see? When I am seeing all these beings, how I can see that? Because in each and everything that Brahman is present, Atman is present, and that is the reason Swami Vivekananda said each soul is potentially divine. The divinity is within. When the people they say that the human beings are sinners, we shiver. We cannot understand that, because it has been proved that each and each soul, each and every soul, everything is nothing but the manifestation of the same Brahman. But this very moment I am not aware of it. So we have to make our mind very, very subtle, alert to understand. Ihached abedit atha satyamasti. In the 5th verse of the 2nd chapter, it says, Ihached abedit atha satyamasti. Nached iha abedit mahati vinasti. Why? We are not sure whether we are going to have the human birth in the next life or not. When the human birth, we have received the human birth, human life, we must try to understand this Brahman, though it is very, very subtle. How? Now they are giving a wonderful story. It says that not only human being, forget about the other being, it is the God even, the Indra, Agni, Varuna, all the gods. How they became gods? Because in their past lives they did wonderful thing, and as a result they have got power, supernatural power, wonderful power. So they call themselves God. People, they call them gods. Much above, more powerful, that people even, they are deluded. What happened? The story goes, in the 3rd chapter, it begins with that. Once there was a war between the gods and the demons. The gods won and they became elated, thinking that the victory was due to their own strength, which is very normal. And when they are celebrating, then something very special happened. The moment they were all sitting, preparing for the joy, enjoyment, they saw a yaksha in between God and human being. He is standing at the gate. Then naturally, the Indra, the god of gods, he told that Agni, can you please go and find out who is this person? Agni went, and the god of fire to go and find out the identity of this figure. Agni went over there, and that person, the Yaksha, asked, who are you? And he said, I am Agni, you don't know me. Agni was very proud about that. You don't know me? I am Agni. Then he said, okay, what can you do? He asked. And Agni said, I can burn everything in this world. Is it? You are so powerful, you can burn everything? Can you please? Then he said, straw he placed before the Agni. Small little straw, and said, can you please burn this? Agni put all his power, but couldn't do anything. So you may remember in the Mahabharata, the one Bhima, he was so powerful and proud about his power. Nothing, because in the forest, the most powerful thing is the elephant. And Bhima could fight with the elephant with the bare hands, no problem for him. So he used to roam inside the jungle. One day he saw a very old monkey sitting by the side of the road and his tail crossing the road, small pathway. And this is not the courteous to cross a person, to go over him. So naturally he told, "Sir, will you please take out your tail?" Then he said, "Son, I am so, that you can see me, I am so old, I don't have any power to even to remove my tail. Can you please help me to remove the tail and then you go?" Bhima told, "Okay, I will." He lifted, we can imagine, in 2 fingers, because only a tail is nothing. In 2 fingers in the left hand, he wanted to remove it. He couldn't do it, it is so heavy. Then the whole left hand, then both the hands, and Bhima used his whole power. But again he couldn't remove that. Then Bhima said, "You are not an ordinary monkey, who are you?" Then the monkey took his form, he is Mahavira. And he said, "I am also the son of the Pavana, the Vayu, and you are also the same, you are my brother, Bhima. But I am here to teach you one thing, don't be so proud of your strength. If the God is not giving us that power, no one can have that power." So that was the story. Here also we find, after that they won the war, when they were celebrating and this figure came, Yaksha, in the gate, the Agni went and he asked, "Can you please burn this straw?" He couldn't. Agni came back ashamed. He told, "I couldn't do." He is a very different type of person. The Indra asked the Vayu to go, and Vayu went over there. "Who are you?" Again he asked. "I am the Vayu." "What can you do?" said that figure. Vayu answered, "I can blow everything away." Again he said the same thing. "Can you please blow this straw?" "All right." The Vayu tried and tried again, but he couldn't do anything. He came back ashamed. Then finally Indra, the ruler of the gods, went to find out who this figure was. But before he could approach it, it disappeared, and in its place stood a beautiful goddess adorned with many jewelries. And she was Uma Haimavati. This is the first time in the Upanishad itself the name Uma we find, Uma Haimavati. Then the Indra asked her, "Who was that strange figure?" Then Uma told that it was Brahman. The Brahman took the form to teach you this lesson. She also told him that you have won the war because of the Brahman. Indra understood that the gods want everything for the Brahman, and they had no power of their own. The gods and goddesses and all the powers that exist. And here we find that is that way it goes on and on, giving the example. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is also giving a wonderful example. One person, he was boiling the potatoes, and the potatoes inside that water, when it was boiling, the potatoes naturally going up and down, and they thought, the story is like this, they thought that we are jumping, and they started competing each other. "See, I can jump much higher than you." Another told, "Okay, this time let me show you how much I can go." So they were jumping, not aware that below the fire is burning. Without the fire, the water cannot boil, and when the water is not boiling, the potatoes cannot jump of their own. Similarly, when we think that I am so intelligent, that I have achieved this, I have got so many certificates. Is it your own? That is the question. What we learn from this Upanishad? To be humble. Even the gods, they became humble with this teaching, and slowly, that in the story, in the 3rd chapter, it goes on, and ultimately in the 8th sloka, it says, Tasmai, we will see that lastly. The Uma came in that Akasha. Sahovacha Brahmeti Brahmanova etad bijaye. So in the 4th chapter, it begins with these words, Sa. That means that Uma, Ubachaha. She said, Brahma iti. It was the Brahman. Brahmano vai bijaye etat mahidyam. Brahma vai bijaye etat mahidyam. That means because of the Brahman, you could win. So unnecessarily you are thinking that you have done it. That is a wrong pride. It was Brahman who won the war, fought the gods. It was his, Brahman's victory, in which the gods, amahi anta means took pride. They thought this victory is ours indeed, the credit is ours indeed. Friends, we are actually explaining this one, the saga of the soul. And in that we have already covered the Vedas, and we have come to the Upanishads. After just browsing through the Upanishads, we will go to other texts like the Brahma Sutra, Bhagavata, then we will go to Itihasa like Ramayana, Mahabharata, like that. But Upanishad we will take up separately, then word for word meaning, all these explanations, that we will say. And you will be happy to know the 25 lectures, one American one boy is there, he always notes down that, and then removing all the different things, he makes a wonderful CDs, all the 25 lectures in one CD. Now, first CD we have published of the Saga of the Soul. So, it will be available to you from our bookstore. There we are, from the beginning we have started how we came to search for the root. That was the first thing, and then Charaibeti, and we are moving. So, this Charaibeti, here we find that in the 4th chapter it goes on telling, in the 5th verse of the 4th chapter it says, Athat Adhyatmakam. It says that Atha Adhyatmakam Upadesha, and here it is giving Agni went to the divine being and who said, after the Agni it says, here is an instruction on Brahman. In the 4th chapter, 4th verse, it is giving the instruction on the Brahman. Here is an instruction on Brahman. It is like a flash of light or like a blink of an eye. It is very difficult to explain about Brahman, and that is the reason they are trying their best to give the example as close to this flash of a lightning. The light comes and goes, but it reveals everything. Similarly, when that Brahman, that knowledge flashes, we get everything. These are the two similes drawn from the phenomenal world. Just as lightning comes in a flash and removes darkness, same way self-knowledge comes all of a sudden and removes the darkness of ignorance. Before we start the Kathopanishad after this Kena, we will in at least one or two lectures we will dedicate what is this Brahman, how we can approach, what are the arguments in favor and against. So that will be give an idea to some extent about the Brahman. This self-knowledge comes all of a sudden and removes the darkness of ignorance. Lord, the Gautama, he went and sat, he meditated, he closed all his 5 senses. He didn't went to any university, he went to jungle. He didn't go to anyone, he sat by himself under a tree. And what he did, he was not experimenting with any instrument, he only closed his eyes. And when he closed his eyes, slowly, not only closing the eyes, but he was closing all the senses. Then afterwards, when he came out, he was Buddha. The Gautama became Buddha. The Buddha means the knowledge. What knowledge actually he got? The same knowledge Shankaracharya also, the same knowledge all others. That the young boy, he was asking, if God is same, then why all these religions are fighting with each other? Why they are telling that path is not good, mine is good? I told that is the reason. All people are trying to prove that my path, my way is the best. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, after realizing this truth, after traveling from different paths, then he declared all paths are leading to the same goal. Only thing that you should have to reach over there, sincerity and faith. Now, I am going to reach that confidence. Here also it says in the same way, and it says that the sadhaka actually anena means with the help of the mind, etat abhiksham. Anena, with the help of the mind. What type of mind? The mind which is free from all these attachments. That's why Sri Ramakrishna said that Shuddha Man and Shuddha Atma are same. Shuddha Man. What is the Shuddha Man? The mind which is totally free from attachment and aversion. When there is no attachment, when there is no hankering to get something, and there is no aversion, I don't want this. When it is totally free, that is called the pure mind, Shuddha Man. And that is Shuddha Atma. The moment that our mind becomes totally free from this attachment and aversion, then we can realize that Atman for which this Upanishad speaks. And here in the 4th and 5th we find that it says Pratyagma Vishaya, Atma, Pratyag Atma. About that it is telling again and again you have to abhiksham, again and again, upasmaranti. Upa is going close, smaranti, remembering. You are going again and again. What is the meditation? Meditation is this: Sravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. That is the way of the knowledge. Sravan. You have to hear it from the Guru, from the preceptor, from the man of knowledge, one who has realized. The moment you hear from him, Sravana. We hear so many things, we don't remember. Now almost 1 hour I am speaking. Suppose I ask, what did I say? It will be very difficult, almost all of the listeners, to answer exactly. Of course, we can say in a gist about Brahman you were speaking. What is that Brahman? You also don't know, I also don't know, so there is no problem. So this way it goes, but this Sravana means here very minutely it is listening, and it goes deep into the mind. And then Manana, it goes on recapitulating, remembering constantly. So what he said, why he said, how to transform these into practice. Then nididhyasana. After that, taking the decision, I am going to be like that, I meditate. And when I meditate, I transform myself into that Godhood. When I am meditating on a particular object. Maybe those who are very devoted to Shiva or Krishna, when they are meditating, slowly they become like Shiva, they become like Krishna, they behave like Krishna. In the Radha, afterwards, maybe someday when we will be reading this Bhagavata, the Radha, she used to behave like Krishna. In a very recent time, Ma Sharadamani Devi, many people, they observed it, and in their memoirs they have mentioned she used to behave like Sri Ramakrishna. Constantly thinking on that, my goal, it became like that. In the behavior too, it says in that way, anena, with this mind, etat, this Brahman, abhiksham, again and again, upasmaranti, you go close and then see cha sankalpaha, that is called Brahma Sankalpa. I am going to realize Brahman. And then it goes and it says, Shishya, he is telling, Bho. Bho means that Bhagavan. When we are respected, honorable sir, respected sir, it says the Bhagavan. Tat, that Brahman, ha, must be Tat Banam Nama. Tat Banam Nama means, that is very interesting way, it says that Brahman is known for certain as the adorable one. Tat Banam Nama, the adorable one, and it says it should be worshipped as the adorable one. That Tad Banam means adorable one. Unless and until we have the great respect and the love, it is of no use meditating or thinking on that. So when we start adoring, when we start giving respect, then only we can properly utilize our mind to realize that. So it says that Brahman is known for certain as the adorable one, and then only it should be worshipped as the adorable one. All creatures worship him indeed who knows Brahman Das. And when it says like this, in the next class we will just touch this point again. And when it say like this, Tad Banam Miti Upasitavyam Sa Ya Etad Evam Veda Enam Sarvani Bhutani Ha Avisambachanti. Now one who is worshipping the Brahman in this way, he is worshipped by many. When one worshipping that Brahman, he is worshipped by many. Why? Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. The moment one becomes Brahman, the moment one realizes the God, then other people also feel attracted to him, and there is no other way. You cannot but go to him. Sri Ramakrishna never advertised, but people from all over, from different corners, they used to come to him. Why? You are bound to many people, highly educated people, they used to come and wanted to talk to him. Then this, the Shishya, the disciple, now he is telling that Upanishadam Bho Bruhiti Uktvata Upanishad Brahmin Bhavata Upanishad Brahme Meti. Upanishadam Bho Brahiti. Then the disciple is telling, to the sir, that please tell me, oh teacher, please tell me the teachings of the Upanishad. After all this, again he is asking, please tell me what the Upanishad is teaching. I am sure none of you will ask again. Whatever you have said is okay, don't repeat it. Please tell us what is this Upanishad. Then the teacher says, message of the Upanishad has already been given to you. See, this is very subtle. After hearing all this, we are still not very convinced why it is so subtle. How we are understanding through our mind. But mind is not completely pure, as we were talking about the purity, because it has so many varieties of other things inside the mind. The one pointed mind without any attachment, aversion, that is not there. So obviously the student asking, please tell me about the Upanishad, and the teacher said, the message of the Upanishad has already been given to you. I have already told you about the Upanishadam bho bruhiti. I have already told you, Uktata Upanishad Brahmin Bhavata. I have already told you about this Upanishad. Then he said, Tasai tapo dama karmeti pratishta. Now finally he says, something must be given. Otherwise it is very impossible to stick to that philosophy, to that ideology. Why the ritual? The Hindus, they developed so much of rituals. Even the Buddhist, when the Lord Buddha himself said, do not worship. But why so much of ritual in the Buddhism, in the Christianity? When they say God has no figure, then why so much of ritual? In the Islam, so much of ritual. Without ritual, you cannot move. Why fasting? Why all going and sitting? And why we are praying to God? All rituals, sitting down, kneeling down, and putting the hand like this, turning the face towards left, turning the face towards right. Why all this? This is also rituals. Then it says in the Upanishad again, and it concludes over here, Tasvai tapo dama karmeti pratishta Veda sarvangani satyam ayotanam. Here it concludes. The satyam is the nibasa, the truth, the austerity. Austerity means tapo, self-restraint, dhamma, and spiritual practice form the foundation of self-knowledge. The Vedas are its limbs, truth is its abode. Now, after the whole Upanishad, like us, that brahmachari, the student, he was asking the teacher, please tell us about Upanishad, what the Upanishad is telling. Then the teacher understood that he is not understanding that subtlety, the subtle point. Then he said, you better practice. What are the practices? He said, Tasvai. Tasvai means of the Brahman, tapo, that means austerity. What is this austerity? Because in our mind so many desires are coming. When we are controlling those desires, that is austerity. So naturally all this austerity, and along with the austerity comes self-restraint. Some people are talking about me in a very bad manners, and I am feeling my nature is provoking to become angry, but someone inside told, don't be angry. Self-restraint. I cannot behave like that. Self-restraint. So the austerity and self-restraint and spiritual practices. What is the spiritual practices? Whatever the Guru has said, your scripture has said, you must follow that. That is called spiritual practices. You have to get up in the morning, you have to Ved, wearing the washed clothes, come and do this and see it before, after that this, after that this, the routine goes on. Some people they say, oh, you have become monk and you are enjoying the life. To become a monk, 40 years passed. And every moment the struggle with the mind, struggle with the senses, everything just that was the war within us. So naturally it says tapo, dhamma and karma. That are the Vedas is a limb. Veda means the Upanishads, is the limbs, and Satya is the abode. What is the Satya? The truth, abode. Without that Satya, the truth, you can never realize God. So this is the conclusion of these. Then finally in the 9th sloka it concludes, but let us conclude it once again with the Shanti mantra. And this time we will pray is another Shanti mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Sahaviryam No, oh, sorry, I just mind going to other. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karoti Me Tejasvi Namaditamastu Ma Aditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. When you break, it is very difficult to remember the next line. So we have just concluded the Kena Upanishad, and the next time, as I promised before, we will speak about the Brahman, how from the different viewpoints they are approaching that Brahman, what are the arguments. This we will first in one or maybe in 2 lectures, then afterwards we will pick up Katha Upanishad. But we won't go sloka after sloka because we won't be able to complete. So we will go, as they call it, bird's eye view, what is exactly there in that Upanishad, then the Prasna, Mundaka, Mandukya, like this one after another, the bird's eye view we will do. Thank you for coming, and you can take the lunch over here.